This is Soccer Central, your home for the hottest soccer action this summer. This was a grand final which promised so much and delivered. The defending premiers South Melbourne chasing back-to-back titles, up against the battlers from Sydney United, counting on heart and hunger to claim their first National League crown. In this final edition of Soccer Central for the season, we review the Ericsson Cup decider and relive a 5-goal thriller which will live long in the memory. The championship has been won, but Soccer Central is gearing up for its grand final. So join us for a celebration of a truly great season of Aussie soccer action. Well, I see they've turned the weather on for me in my old hometown of Melbourne for this grand final edition of Soccer Central. And what a grand final it was. 5 goals and one of the most bruising encounters I've seen for a long, long time. I know I've got some bruises and I was just in the commentary box. We'll celebrate with the victors, South Melbourne, and chat with the heroes, Paul Trimboli and John Anastasiadis. 2 goals off the bench. And we'll catch up with Sydney United. Obviously disappointed, but what a fantastic season. Can they now keep this side together? Yes, that question will be answered a little bit later on in the show. But I'm joined by Mike Cockrell. Michael, one of the more bruising encounters I've ever seen in a grand final.
Absolutely, Wadey. I mean, it was a pleasure to watch, wasn't it? There was nobody pulling out of any tackles whatsoever. I mean, we expected that because the history of these two sides this season has shown there's plenty of feeling between the sets of players, and the grand final was no disappointment.
Sydney United started off like a house on fire. It was almost a game of 2 halves. They're great starters anyway. First 15 minutes, they've scored more goals than anybody else in the National League, and this was no different. Yeah,
well, I mean, it was the perfect time for Sturjovski to get the goal. I'm sure South Melbourne will be kicking themselves about the marking there, but, you know, Millet jumped well. He got the goal at the back post, and that was the start that David Mitchell was after. It set the scene for a great grand final.
Yeah, it certainly did. Why don't we have a look at the first 45 minutes? It's Sydney United against South Melbourne Olympic Park.
And of course they are the defending champions. It's a different story, of course, for today's opponents, Sydney United. The Pumas have never won the national title. Twice before they've reached this stage of the season, both in 1988 and 1997. On both occasions, sadly for the Sydney United fans, they came up empty-handed. Capacity was restricted to 18,000, but the figure is going to be below that as Simon Mikulev gets the title decider underway. Kuprashak with an early touch on this right side is David Bennett. Good, clean, strong tackle there by Vrikic to dispossess Trimboli. And away comes Santalab. Sydney United on the counter. Sturjovski to the left. Day goes through the middle. The flag is up. Probably against Mile Sturjovski. And there's a few early words being exchanged between Orlik and Sturjovski. Plesher has to go long. Met with a firm header from Blatzis. Still the ball hasn't landed on the ground, and there's been a tussle between Bennett and Clarkson. And a few of the South Melbourne players claiming an arm was used by Peter Bennett. Let's have a look at it here. The forearm certainly used by Peter Bennett there.
Yeah, I think it was. It's just a typical grand final. Everybody's so committed this early stages of the game.
Strong 50-50. Day and Demetrius. Berry now. Peter Bennett has an attempt. Has that taken a deflection? No, says the referee. That's a goal kick. Nathan Day had a fabulous match last week in the preliminary final. As the corner comes over, and it's gone in. Great header there at the back post. And it's Mile Sturjovski who puts Sydney United in front. 7 minutes gone. The most lethal finisher in the club does the business. Great start that for Sydney United. Sturjovski was left free. Where was the marking? He met the power, he met the header, I should say, with enough power. A dream start for Sydney United.
Yeah, it comes down to the quality of the ball coming into the box. I mean, the quality of the ball for the free kick just before it, which they won a corner from, was exceptional. And again, the quality of the corner delivery there is absolutely spot on once again, making it very, very difficult. And Mealy's got up at the back post there and finished it off absolutely fantastic. I mean, Sydney United will have their tails up now.
Mike, I also think that the breeze had a lot to do with that as well. It was taken with the right foot with the breeze.
With the big run-up, from Goran Lozanovski, and it's high, wide and handsome there.
Right into Michael Kasija's hands, because he loves the ball into feet with his back towards goal so he can receive it in turn.
Well, that was a crunching tackle from Jacob Burns, and Mikulev was across there quickly. Down goes Blatsis. Diamicis with a great cross. Met well by Kasija. Couldn't get the power on the header, but that's more encouraging for South Melbourne. Down goes Sturjovski. Doesn't he look hungry, Mile Sturjovski? And he's almost won it for the second time. Well, I can tell you, Paul Wade, in the last game between these two sides, Mile Sturjovski with that miss, he took it very, very hard in that second leg of the major semi-final, and he's obviously got a point to prove.
Well, we kept reminding him of it, didn't we?
Bennett lines up the shot. Backed all the way by Burns. It's a good ball. But Santalab was in there first. And the card may indeed come out now from the referee. It does so. Interesting decision that from Simon Mikulev. The Sydney United players are furious. They don't believe it warranted a yellow card. The obvious interpretation is high feet here from Michael Santalab. Your opinion, Stuart Munro?
I don't think so. I think Michael's came in there and he's taken the ball before the ball's actually reached Lozanovski. Unfortunately, afterwards, he's followed through it. But that was no intent in that. There was no intent whatsoever in catching the player.
Barrett. Good movement of the ball this by Sydney United. Burns. Orlick is in ever so strongly, and the tempers are starting to boil over. The referee wants a word. This time to David Barrett. Very rarely that David Barrett is spoken to by a referee. I do believe he left the boot in, but so too did Barrett. Probably a bit of give and take there. Chance here for Sydney United. And again, Sturjovski was at the sharp end. Santalab, he's already been booked. Michael Santalab, he needs to be careful. The referee is going to have a word, and I dare say that's probably the final warning.
Yeah, I need to see this one again, Michael. It's yeah, it looks as if he's hanging on to the guy there. You know, after the balls went away, he's lost possession of the ball, and he's hanging on to his legs.
Out comes Gibson, and he's dropped it again. Mike Gibson. Good work here by Coveney, and he's quick as well, Vaughan Coveney. In the end, he ran out of room, but that's what the crowd like to see. Vaughan Coveney at full flight. Fleshak comes forward for the first time. And Berry is dispossessed in a very strong challenge from Panopoulos. Lozanovski picks out Kasija. Danger here for Sydney United. Still going, Kasija. Chips it deep over the head of Coveney. Well, I do believe Kasija was caught in two minds there. The opportunity presented itself for a shot. Diamicis. Panopoulos in plenty of space. The run hasn't been picked up. Driven towards the man in the middle. And it was Vaughan Coveney there, throwing himself at the ball. A brave attempt that from Coveney. Kuprashak is down. A little bit dazed, I dare say. It was a good ball in from Panopoulos. Perfectly weighted, away from the goalkeeper as well. And Vaughan Coveney, Dave puts it forward again. Onside is Sturjovski. Bennett is in the middle. He's the target. And in the end, the leg came out from David Clarkson. It could have gone anywhere. Sturjovski whips it in. Berry with some acrobatic work there. And David Mitchell knows exactly how close that was. Great work by Steve Berry to get on the end of this one. He must have seen it late. He flung himself at the ball. Well and truly wide in the end, but we'll give him plenty of encouragement. Michael Petkovic, you'd fancy, was beaten. Berry has got there and put it in the middle somehow. Oh, Steve Berry really is an unsung hero in this Sydney United side. Panopoulos clipped there by Barrett. And the card is out of the top pocket. And there's been an incident off the ball. It's on here. Nathan Day was in there. Trimboli was in the middle of things as well. Tempers have boiled completely over. Well, it's been on from the start. Alan Davidson.
Yeah, there's a big hustle down here. Josephides is in the middle of this. I'm not too sure what happened there. Trimboli was another one who'd been hammered. So obviously tempers are at the peak now, but just trying to settle it down. Dave Mitchell's out there trying to settle it down.
Yeah, I think after the free kick, I think Nathan Day kicked the ball and it hit the guy lying on the ground, and that's what caused all the commotion.
Well, the card had come out for David Barrett. That much we know. Now the referee wants a word. Fourth official also has something to say. Mark Shield. That was a flashpoint and a half. It happened in a split second. Bodies were coming in from everywhere. And you can see the reaction there of Paul Trimboli, and I think it was Diamicis as well. Not often you see Paul Trimboli lose his temper like that.
He really should know better. They should just stand back and let the referee deal with these things. It was definitely a yellow card there for Dave Barrett. He caught it too late.
No question of the foul. And a card is flourished to Nathan Day. A yellow card for the Sydney United striker. So 3 cards so far, all to Sydney United players. Barrett.
1-0 to Sydney United at half-time at Olympic Park, and Mike Cockrell, Mile Sturjovski does it yet again. Pablo Cardozo's record of 18 has just been equalled.
Yeah, Mile got a great start in the grand final. I mean, I thought his first half an hour was absolutely fantastic. He was hustling those South Melbourne players into error. He was putting his body on the line as well, and he was razor sharp with his runs off the ball. He got his reward 7 minutes in, back post header, slack marking by South Melbourne, but a great start for Sydney United.
What did you think about both attacks versus both defences? Vaughan Coveney and Michael Casilla not really getting a look in the first half?
No, I thought the first half belonged to Sydney United, or at least most of the first half belonged to Sydney United. They had the ball in midfield, the possession was theirs with Jacob Burns. Peter Bennett was biting away at everyone. He was keeping Paul Trimboli under control. At the other end, I thought Valimir, Kuprashak, Plesher and Vrikic had South Melbourne strikers in their pockets, really. And then, of course, they had the pace of Mile Sturjovski, creating enormous problems for South Melbourne.
And it could have really exploded just before half-time. Paul Trimboli doesn't get upset about little things. That must have really infuriated him.
Well, I think South Melbourne were frustrated by that stage of the game. They had started to come back into the match for the last 5 or 10 minutes, but it wasn't going their way. They were taking exception to a few tackles, and you know, Trimmers is not the sort of bloke who gets involved in altercations too often, but he was at the centre of it. Players started coming in from everywhere. It was a bit unseemly, but really those emotions had been boiling over, or boiling under the surface for the whole game, and it was probably no surprise they eventually boiled over.
What about Mike Gibson? Oldest player ever to play in a grand final. Congratulations, but a little bit nervous for a guy his age. Would that seem a little bit strange?
Yeah, I don't know what the reason was. You wouldn't expect Gibbo to be nervous, but his handling wasn't the best. He dropped a lot of crosses and a few corners, and that, you know, I guess unsettled Sydney United a little bit. But overall, I think the first half was theirs, and the good thing from South Melbourne's point of view, they couldn't get a second goal, Sydney United, so that left them very much in the match.
Well, there you have it. It's 1-0 at half-time to Sydney United. Plenty more action coming up in the second half. We'll take a short break and be back with more in just a moment. There've only been 2 teams in the history of the Ericsson Cup to come from behind and win grand finals, and both of them have been South Melbourne, so history's on their side. They came out pumped for that second half. Here's all the highlights.
This one, Goran Lozanovski. Too far out, perhaps even for him. He'll be looking to the tall timber, the likes of Orlick and Coveney. Out comes Gibson, he's missed it. A chance here, still hasn't been cleared. On the line was Bennett. And bodies are going in there once again. Mike Gibson taking exception to the challenge from Konblatzis. Well, we had hoped this would cool down after the half-time interval. But clearly it hasn't.
It looked like a handball on the line there. It looked like it, but the linesman's flagging for something.
Well, the decision has gone with Sydney United. Let's have a close look at this replay. Once again, the handling of Mike Gibson letting him down. Maybe he was checked by Orlick. Coveney. Fletcher didn't know too much about that. Coveney got a second chance at this point. Very close there on the line, Peter Bennett. And away comes Steve Berry. Can't get past Lozanowski. Good work here by Lozanowski. He's winding it up, still going. And that's going to be another corner to South Melbourne. They're responding well here, the defending champions. Brian Lozanowski getting outside his man. In comes a corner, and it's gone in. South Melbourne have equalised. Paul Trimboli. Well, Sydney United scored from a corner in the first half. South Melbourne have done it in the second. What a time for the captain to come to the fore. And what a game we now have on our hands. The equaliser coming after 52 minutes. Paul Trimboli. Haven't seen too much of him in this match. The corner came into the near post, and Trimboli was there first.
Yeah, again, he's standing unmarked, completely unmarked in the 6-yard box. It's criminal, you know, and it's nothing more than South Melbourne deserved. They started the second half.
Be interesting now to see how Sydney United react to the goal. The momentum's with us at the moment, Alan. If we can get a second goal, you know, we're looking to go on for it from there, really.
Well done, Carl. Listen, all the best for the game, and I'll speak to you again after.
Cheers, Alan.
Well, another card flourished by the referee, this time to Lozanowski. Didn't really seem to be too much in that, just a swipe and a miss from Lozanowski. Free kick goes to Sydney United. Burns. Berry. Santalab. Taking up a good position. Gets a second attempt. Santalab, near post ball. And it's been missed by everyone at the far post. Diamichis got the last touch. South Melbourne on the counter through Coveney. Ricketts is quick enough to stay with him. And the assistant has ruled a goal kick. Oh, Vaughan Coveney is furious with that interpretation. Seemed to me he had an argument.
I think so, yes. He certainly let the linesman know it as well.
He's looking reasonably tired out there. As we see another crunching challenge there. Here comes from Lozanowski. Met by Orlick. Off the line once again. Another corner to South Melbourne. How did that stay out? Steve Panopoulos knows how close that was. Lozanowski's corner was played deep this time. As we see the corner once again. Once again there are players pushing and shoving. Well, this game is just not going to quieten down, is it?
It's funny, you know, where the first time these two teams played, Vaughan Coveney scored a goal. When he got up at the 6-yard box and he put it in at the post, there was nobody standing on the post.
Driven long by Diamichis. Coveney will get there in front of Fletcher, and Fletcher with a wild challenge on Coveney. That was a nasty challenge from Richie Fletcher. Straight into the back of Coveney's legs. A sure sign of frustration from the Sydney United sweeper. Well, the cards are coming thick and fast, and sooner or later we're going to get a red.
Call me soft, call me what you like, but tell me why that's not a red card.
Lozanowski looking to whip this one into the middle. South Melbourne, in fact, want to make the change before the free kick is taken. And it's going to be an early mark from Michael Kasija. On comes the very popular John Anastasiadis. Listen to the crowd reaction to the introduction of Anastasiadis. He did score a goal in last season's grand final. Lozanovsky flicked on by Coveney. Great save, Gibson. I don't believe it! Anastasiadis with his first touch has put South Melbourne in front. You couldn't have scripted that better. John Anastasiadis onto the field for 5 seconds if you're lucky. Is presented with the easiest of opportunities, and South Melbourne take the lead in the grand final.
Michael, do we call Angie Postecoglou Alex Ferguson? Inspired substitution.
Yeah, but you watch this, there's absolutely no marking at the back post. Everybody gets drawn towards the ball. Coming in the back there, look at Steve Berry's the last man, and he's almost standing central goals. Anastasiadis just come on the field, left unmarked. And you know, you look at the situation just now. Everybody's getting dragged towards the ball. Nobody's even looking at the back post area, and it's an easy tap-in for him.
Then it comes away by Lozanovsky. Burns back to his feet, puts it in the middle. Out comes Petkovic. Good goalkeeping. Townsend. 10 minutes left. Past Lozanovsky. Good work from Townsend. Needs a good cross. Picks out Sturjovski. Acrobatic effort there. Bennett with the corner for Sydney United. Towards the near post. And Michael Petkovic now starting to show his calibre. Difficult ball for the goalkeeper to take there.
They decided in the second half to be a bit more direct, and it's causing all sorts of problems to Sydney United. It's stretching them back all the time, and the midfield three are not really getting involved in the game at all. They just can't get close to anybody, and you know, South Melbourne are bypassing the midfield, and it's working for them this second half.
Coveney there was first with the ball. It's going wide before Anastasiadis attempted to get a second touch. The last throw of the dice here for Sydney United. What can they offer from the set piece here? It's within striking range. Flesher is located just to the right of the ball. Anastasiadis now does the intelligent thing and moves across to try and block Richie Flesher from getting a shot. Maybe left to Sturjovski. Sturjovski never really looked terribly convincing in the run-up, did he, Mile Sturjovski? Have the heads of Sydney United dropped just a little bit.
Body language says so, Michael. Maybe they're sort of almost taught themselves into defeat here. But if you're a Manchester United supporter, you never give up. And I'm sure Sydney United supporters playing in the similar colours wouldn't give up either.
Gutierrez. Smart play. Hurdles the challenge of Vrikic. Clarkson still full of running. Gutierrez. The ball in unmarked is Anastasiadis! That is the championship. John Anastasiadis, the super sub, strikes again. They know they've done it, the South Melbourne players. What an impact from an impact player. 2 goals since coming off the bench. John Anastasiadis, for the 2nd season in a row, scores in the grand final. This time, it's 2 in 1 game. Credit to Gutierrez, he started the move. He got the space on the right. It was an intelligent ball into the middle. And it was a tidy finish from Anastasiadis.
Yeah, I think the other substitution that you've got to take your hat off to Angie for was Gutierrez. He's came on there, and I think he's done terrific since he's came on. He broke up the attack there. He won possession of the ball and sprinted forward.
We're now into time added on in the grand final. Barrett. Chance here for Griffiths. Townsend. And Danny Townsend has scored. Sydney United back to within a goal.
Yeah, it's what Paul Wade was saying. If you're a Manchester United fan, you might still hold some hope there, but can they get another one? That's the question for Sydney United.
Danny Townsend, his second goal of the season, right on the 90-minute mark. Good work to get past Konplatsis by Joel Griffiths, and a nice finish indeed from Townsend. What a challenge that was from Gutsulis. Anastasiadis almost getting in behind Vrikic. Flesher. Well, they can't get out of their own half here, Sydney United. They've got 5 lined up in the forward line. Sturjowski. Bennett. Got to drive it into the box. Out comes Petkovic. Much to the relief of South Melbourne. There's the whistle. South Melbourne are back-to-back champions of Australia. A precious moment for the South Melbourne players and their coach, Ange Postecoglou. It's an achievement which deserves the highest praise. They were here 12 months ago to win the title against Carlton. They have returned to Olympic Park to do it again. The hero of the afternoon surely is the substitute, John Anastasiadis. 2 goals since coming off the bench. Turned the game around. Sydney United with a late flurry. A score from Danny Townsend in the dying stages gave them a glimmer of hope. But for the 3rd time, Sydney United have finished a grand final empty-handed. Some emotional scenes out there on the ground. Ange Postecoglou, not one to show too much emotion. He is absolutely delighted.
Well, what a contrast in halves, and Mike Cockle, who would have left Paul Trimboli on his own at the near post to score that equaliser?
Well, he's not known for his strength in the air, is he? But, you know, South Sydney United paid the price. Trimmers was completely unmarked. That got them back into the game. David Mitchell said later the equaliser was what killed Sydney United off. But, of course, as we learned a little bit later in the match, it was John Anastasiadis that killed Sydney United off. What a story from John Anastasiadis. Fantastic effort off the bench. His first touch, I watched him on the sideline. He went straight from the sideline, a beeline to that near post, banged the balls in the back of the net. Unbelievable.
Do we call Ange Postecoglou Alex Ferguson? 2 inspired substitutions, because I thought Gutsulis was an inspired substitution as well. His second goal, or Anastasiadis' second goal, was caused because of Ange.
Yeah, I think so. I think Postecoglou made the right decisions at the right time. I mean, if you take note of exactly when Anastasiadis came on the pitch, South Melbourne had a free kick. A lot of coaches would wait until after the set piece. That's what you traditionally do. No, Angie wanted Anastasiadis on before Goran Lozanovski took the free kick, and the rest, as they say, is history. Gutsulis as well, a fantastic influence in the dying stage of the match. So Ange pulled all the right reins. I mean, he's learning as a coach. He's only young, 33 years of age, but you know, we talk about the next Socceroo coach. After this, Ange Postecoglou's got to get right up to the top of the list.
The Marsden medal, won by Goran Lozanovski. Your thoughts on his performance, considering he was really unfit?
I thought Goran had a good game. I mean, he obviously was struggling for the match fitness. I don't think he was in the match during the first half, but when it mattered, Goran Lozanovski was very influential. I mean, whether he should have won the Marsden medal or not, I'm not sure, but you know, it was a fantastic effort from Goran, a guts effort. I mean, he's going in for an operation this week, so he held off, he played the grand final, and he's got his medal.
Must have helped. We talk about home ground advantage. Having 18,000 South Melbourne supporters behind you certainly must have helped push them home.
Well, they lifted the roof off, didn't they, those South fans in the last 10 minutes. It was magic atmosphere. It wasn't the biggest of crowds, a bit disappointing in that respect, but, you know, it was a fantastic atmosphere towards the end. I mean, people could sense the history was in the making there. Unlucky Sydney United, great season for them. Things didn't work out at the end, but I think the South Melbourne were probably the deserved champions of Australia.
Indeed, deserved champions, South Melbourne. But all the emotion is captured after that final whistle. Our cameras were right in there amongst it all. The disappointment of Sydney United, the euphoria surrounding back-to-back champions for South Melbourne.
It what a great bunch of boys. I'm just, what can I say? It was hard enough when we played up there the other week, but to get here today, and they gave me a chance to play in it, and I love them. It's fantastic.
It hasn't even sunk in yet. I mean, that last 5 minutes was amazing, wasn't it? We were so tense, and then we got the third goal, and we thought, yeah, we got it. And then they got one, and we thought, blow the whistle. But, no, fantastic. I mean, it's hard to put into words. I mean, all the hard work, 31 games, pressure on right from the start. Can we do it? And to get over the line, this bunch of boys is fantastic.
What about the second half? It was a totally different team out there.
Yeah, well, we knew that it was going to be tight that first half. They were going to really put in hard, and we had to just hang in there. You know, we copped the early goal, set us back for probably 25 minutes. But then we started to come into the game more and more. And in the second half, we had the wind. We thought we're going to put pressure. And what a crowd. I mean, fantastic. They were almost willing the ball into the net. So, I mean, yeah, fantastic.
Sign of a champion side, I guess, to come back after 1-0 at half-time, and it really wasn't going your way, to turn it around so convincingly.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it showed a lot of character. I mean, give Sydney United credit. I mean, they threw everything at us, and I mean, they scored twice. They probably thought at the start of the game if they could score twice, they'd win. But we got a great bunch of boys here, and they never give in. And I tell you what, we're going to party tonight.
A couple of mistakes in the second half, and they got their tails up, and with the wind behind them, they delivered some great free kicks and corners, and just caught us off guard. And they were the reigning premiers, and they played well today. And I'd like to congratulate Paul Trimboli and his team on a good season. But our guys have been fantastic all year. We've suffered a lot of adversity, and there's some big hearts in our team. And we'll kick on from here. We've got some young boys that'll come back, and we'll be there again next year.
Are the boys going to stay together? Do you think there's a good chance this side will stay together?
Yeah, I'd like to think that they will. We've got a lot of young guys that have been chased by some clubs, but yeah, I don't think this team's reached its potential yet, so I'd like to think that we could keep them together for at least another season.
When you look back on the season, mate, I guess you'll reflect over the next week or so about it, but it truly has been fantastic, hasn't it?
Yeah, like I said, it was our holy grail really to make the final, and it's a fairy tale that we got there. And like I say, it was we didn't have any money to spend on any players, and we've got players from the State League, and they've all played with a heart on their sleeve this year, and we played some really good football as well and entertained the crowd, so just happy to take part in the final.
Probably too early to look ahead, but do you think this side will be able to stay together?
Yeah, well, I mean, the next couple of weeks the club is actually going to look all the players and have a talk to them during their contracts, and just wait and see what happens.
Includes yourself, I guess?
Yeah, includes myself, yeah. Be great to keep this bunch of boys together.
That must be one of the most disappointing things you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, mate. But I say all these boys here, we won a championship, won the premiership, we had a grand final loss. But I think, South Melbourne are a good team.
Going into it though, the first 45 minutes, you must have felt on top of the world.
Oh yeah, we were all buzzing. We thought we had it. But, coming in the second half, there was a bit of a strong breeze, but still, we're just unfortunate. I think.
And you had to mark Paul Trimboli.
Oh no,
tough gig.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Tell us what happened with the goal. I mean, you and Jacob Burns were picking up the post, but nobody was picking up Trimmers.
Actually, Santa was at front post. It just glanced over his head, and Trimmers just got it. Oh, it's a great goal. The angle was unbelievable. So. No, I didn't even see it coming, to tell you the truth. So,
what was said after the game? Are the boys going to try and stay together, or is it?
Oh, mate, you've got to keep those boys together. If not, you've got to... They're a great bunch of lads. Coaches, Mitch and Laurie, can't get any better. Best coaches I've ever been associated with, I can tell you now.
Now, tell us about that ugly head. Come
ugly
on, turn it round so we can see all the... What's the story behind that?
It's Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week last week, and I'm a sufferer from Crohn's. And,
can you explain to us what Crohn's is?
It affects your digestive system. So you get unpleasant like diarrhoea, bad stomach pains, you get quite ill. But there's a lot of people out there that have it, and not many people that know about it. And it's just to let people know that it's out there. And I'd have to say McGrath Holders put in a sum of money for the Crohn's and Colitis Association.
How much did they put in?
$1,000. Yep.
So $1,000 goes to the Crohn's Association?
Yeah, that's for the melon. That's it, yeah.
It's early days for you as a player, but I suppose it doesn't make it any easier to accept, does it?
No, it's devastating losing the final, and full credit to all the lads. I think we've had a great season, South Melbourne just a better team on the day.
Tell me about the preparation going into this one. I mean, you guys have really stuck together where we, the media, have written you off so many times. You keep coming back.
What's the secret?
I think it just adds fire, you know, everyone riding us off at the beginning of the season to come so far and see ourselves in a grand final. Really lifts all the boys' spirits, you know, everyone against the odds. So I think everyone's done well, you know. I think that's the reason why we do so well.
Do you do the old photocopy? Get the photocopy, highlight it, stick it up there. Right, we'll shove it up this lot this weekend.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Is it more?
No, I'm sure the boys, you know, have a bit of a read and take it all in and just, you know, apply it to their game the best they can.
Well, David Mitchell and the players obviously seem a little bit more confident about keeping the team together. But Mike Cockrell, what's the reality of all this? Can they do it?
I think it's doubtful, Wadey, to be honest. I think we're going to see the breakup of that Sydney United team. The likes of Sturjovski, Griffiths and Burns already have good offers from other Ericsson Cup clubs, notwithstanding the offers they'll get from overseas. There are other players in demand across the midfield there. So, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for the new board of Sydney United to keep that squad intact. The president, Marko Franovic, does have the means to do that, but it's going to be a tough call. Mitch himself has also got plenty of offers to go elsewhere.
Could David Mitchell stay at Sydney United? Could you see it a conceivable option?
Well, it's possible, obviously, but unlikely, I would say. I mean, he's got offers from other clubs around the Ericsson Cup, and he's also in the frame, of course, for the national coaching position. So Mitch has got big ambitions. He's fulfilled some of them with Sydney United, but not all of them, and maybe he needs greener pastures. We'll have to wait and see.
Does this mean the end of Sydney United as we know it? Could they go into receivership yet again once that happens?
No, I think that danger has certainly passed. I think Sydney United, if anything, will emerge stronger from the season than weaker. I mean, it depends a lot on the response of their fans. I mean, Marko Franovic wants bigger crowds at Sydney United. He wants probably more responsible crowds in some areas as well. So it's up to the people that have supported the club all these years to get out there next season and support Sydney United in greater numbers. The players have done their part in the season, haven't they? I mean, it's been a fantastic season for Sydney United against the odds.
All the players seem to be waiting on David Mitchell's decision. It just shows you how much respect David Mitchell has from his players.
I think that respect's been obvious all season, Wadey. I mean, a lot of the players that he gave a chance to this season were probably unwanted elsewhere. So that was a motivation for them. They wanted to repay Mitch for that faith. Of course, when the club went into administration halfway through the season, the players didn't desert the sinking ship. And I mean, you know what players are like. They tend to follow the dollar if they get half an opportunity. They stayed with Mitch and they got all the way to the grand final. On the big day, it didn't work out for them, but they should still be very, very proud of what they've achieved this season.
Well, the celebrations are probably still going on down there at South Melbourne. Paul Trimboli has been a key player all year. Boy, is he enjoying his third championship. We caught up with him after the game.
This is not your Doherty Cup winners medal. Eh? What a proud moment, eh?
Fantastic, mate. You know, to see all these people so excited, it makes you feel even better.
You know the stun reaction when you came off the park? I mean, people just could not believe that the number 9 from South Melbourne was coming off. I mean, what was the reason?
Oh, I think it was just we had the lead and it was getting late in the game, and you know I was struggling a little bit, so you know you just thought, well, you know, get some fresh legs on. And
well, tell us what the injury was.
I just hurt my calf in the first half. I thought it was funny because it happened, and I thought the first thing that came in my head was I've done a Roy Keane, and I said, and then I saw the scoreboard. I said we're losing. I can't go off now. I go at least when we're winning. If I go off, it's all right.
You always do it dramatically in the final, South Melbourne, don't you?
Tell you what, it's good theatre, isn't it? It's good for you boys with the cameras in.
Oh, it's great for us. Great pictures.
I mean, that second half, just the emotion, the crowd was getting into it, and we were just putting on the pressure. They had to break sooner or later, didn't they? It was just coming. You know?
Is that one of the best goals you've seen, John Anastasiadis, second goal?
I'll tell you what, that second goal, we do a drill on a Thursday night where we do a bit of a build-up, and that was like exactly like that. We get the ball one touch, get it wide, get it in the box, and it's funny because to end this session, before Ange lets us go in, we have to finish with a header. And if you don't score the header, you're out there all night trying to do it. And I'll tell you what, it was exactly like it. It was just perfect.
John, give us some idea as to how you're feeling right now. Being the hero, 2-goal hero in a grand final, especially back-to-back.
Geez, I don't know about a hero, but I can tell you what, at the moment I'm really tired. We're all celebrating, but it was a great effort from the boys. I mean, we're 1-0 down. It wasn't looking too good for us. We weren't playing the best of soccer, but you know, it's a grand final, and you don't really perform that well. A lot of hard tackles and that. Second half, I think we once we got a goal, that really set the ball rolling, and then Trimmer scored. And, I was lucky enough to come on, and my first start to score a goal, and that really set the ball rolling. And then the third goal was great. I mean, the boys just showed character today, and that's what it's all about. You know?
What was the talk on the bench? You sat there on that bench for a long, long time. There must have been doubts. You must have been, hang on, we're running out of time here.
Well, I kept on looking at the clock, to be honest with you, and when Trimmer scored, Ange about 5 minutes later said, Johnny, warm up. And I mean, it took me about 3 minutes to warm up. I was just all really hyped up, and as soon as you said that, I was ready to go. And like I said, I was lucky enough to come on and scored in my first touch.
Is there a secret to being a super sub? I mean, do you? What's the key to being a super sub? Don't you think you are a super sub?
No, I talked to someone about that not long ago. A report about it being a super sub for me is a young kid who's 17 years old, comes on and makes a big impact. I'm 30 years old, so I can't really call myself a super sub.
You must be feeling like a 17-year-old, though.
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I still got a couple of years left in me. I read in a booklet in the record that they give out before each game, and it said that I'm in my twilight of my career. You know, I don't feel like that. You know, I feel like I've got a couple more years to go. And then, you know, I mean, who knows what can happen in those 2 years, I don't know.
Yeah. What about that second goal that you scored then?
I'm proud of that one. I'll tell you, I don't talk about my goals a lot, and but I was really happy with that because it was a team effort. It was excellently played in the middle of the ground. Georgie Gachoulis came out wide, overlapped more or less. The ball came to him in a brilliant cross, and I was more confident was at the first post. And
Ladies and gentlemen, just one more interruption.
I was lucky to be there.
Ange Postecoglou has enjoyed 4 championships, 2 as a player and 2 as a coach. He says this one is his most rewarding. He's looking forward to the challenge of the World Club Cup, hopefully against Man United. Did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams that you'd do it back-to-back like this?
I mean, you obviously start the season hoping that that's going to be the case, but we had so many problems this year and it was so tough. You know, people just don't understand how hard it is, you know, and, you know, to finally get there and then we got to the grand final and you think, well, you start believing that it can happen and, you know, we went a goal down, which tested us again, but, you know, this group of players has proven over time that in the big games they pull through and they did it again today.
When did you start thinking about bringing John Anastasiadis on?
Well,
was it at half-time? Did you ever think about putting him on at half-time?
No, not at half-time. I thought we were doing quite well, but then when I saw us gaining a bit of impetus in the second half and we equalised pretty quickly with Trimmers, I thought we were getting on top of them, and it was a kind of game where I think, you know, someone like John, his experience would find some gaps out there and we'd create a few chances, and if we did, you know, we need some fresh legs. Mike Kasuji worked really hard, and I thought, well, half an hour to go is a good time. Let's keep the momentum going rather than just sit back and hope for something to happen. Let's try and take an initiative. And I mean, you know, I can sit back and say, you know, I threw him on and I expected him to score a goal with his first touch and all that sort of stuff. But it's all a load of crappers, you know.
The other one, exactly. The other one that would have shocked most people, and you could see when Trimmers was coming off and Gootsy was going on, I think that really shocked people as well.
I mean, but people didn't know that he tore his calf muscle in the first half and after 15 minutes, and had to have a jab at half time just to get him back out there. And you know, to be honest, I was going to pull him up at half time, but he said, no, give me the jab and we'll see how I go. And he went out there and you know, he did as much as he could, scored a great goal. And you know, after that, I just thought, well, he's done enough. I mean, he's done his bit. It's time somebody else come on and work hard. And yeah, I mean, just testament to his courage that he was still out there, really.
The World Club Cup, I guess it really is now a chance of playing Man U.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a close look at the 2 games they play against the Socceroos. So I can't say seriously, can I? Yeah.
Give me a sensible answer.
I mean, we haven't talked about it much. People have been asking me all the time, but certainly it's a mind-blowing concept. We've got to get through the qualifiers first, and then, yeah, to be thinking that we could be in a tournament with the likes of Man U and teams like that is quite amazing for club football. For anyone who's played here for any number of years to think that we're going to be there. And yeah, it's I guess it'll sink in when we start pre-season next year and we find out where it's going to be and who we're going to play. And it's exciting stuff. And you know, representing Australia, it's a chance for us to show people around the world that our code here is, in terms of standard, is improving all the time. Because you know, I really think that the top teams from here, you know, can hold their own against anybody. I mean, obviously we're not going to go out there and beat Manchester United, but you know, I don't think we're that much of a backwater these days that we go there and we should, you know, feel like we're amateurs or anything. You know, we'll go out there and represent, you know, the country with pride.
The World Club Championship. South Melbourne have taken on the best in Australia and won. Now they've got to take on the best in the world, and Mike Cockrell, it could be Man United.
Well, dreams do come true, don't they, Wadey? I mean, an unbelievable opportunity for Australian soccer players. I mean, I'm still struggling to come to terms with the fact that this is on offer. I mean, we've got Manchester United recently crowned European champions. You've got the likes of Palmeiras from Brazil probably winning the South American Championship. You've got the 6 winners of each of the confederations in the world, the 6 club winners, I should say, the winner of the Toyota Cup, and of course a club from the host nation. 8 teams going around next January. The prize money is going to be enormous. The focus is enormous. Fantastic opportunity for South Melbourne, and that really has to be the focus for the club now. Forget about next season's Ericsson Cup. This is an opportunity they have to treat very seriously indeed.
So what's the next step for South Melbourne? Where do they go from here?
Well, I mean, I don't know what the club's thinking is, but, you know, if they are thinking about full-time football, now's the time to do it with this World Club Championship just around the corner. You don't want to be embarrassed. And let's be honest, South Melbourne may be the best team in Australia, but they've got a long way to go to match the likes of Manchester United. We don't want cricket scores. We don't want Australian soccer being embarrassed. South Melbourne have a big responsibility now, not only to their own fans, but to the Ericsson Cup in general. And it's a huge opportunity for them. It's a fantastic thing to happen for the Ericsson Cup. It's what the game has needed for a lot of years, and I'm incredibly excited by it.
We'll take a short break here on Soccer Central, but before we do, let's have a look at some of the great goals. We'll also announce the winner of our Goal of the Season competition.
Shannon's cross, and the shot. What a goal there from Newcastle! Spectacular effort, Haythorpe's way. What a goal that was!
Lozanowski. Yes! What a goal from Goran Lozanowski!
Here he is now, making a liar of it. What a goal from Maloney! Well, that's the way to answer your critics.
They have a dramatically reshaped lineup, and Porridge drills that. How about that for a contender for goal of the year?
Ever since Luke Castley dropped in to launch the Northern Spirits Ericsson Cup campaign, Soccer Central has been unearthing the true characters of Australian soccer. Who would have thought Big John Markovski was a fan of the Teletubbies?
But I don't think I've got one of these.
As always, golf is a big favourite among the players. Vaughan Coveney doesn't mind a hit, and neither does Graham Arnold.
Terrific.
Sorry, Arnie, it was just too good not to use.
You've just put the mark on me.
Robbie Slater's famous #1 hairstyle was in good hands, while we were busy unearthing new talent. This bloke just happens to be Pablo Cardozo's little brother. A little bigger but also going places are the Northern Spirit apprentices who decided to air their dirty laundry on national television. Lucky, I guess, for them that Brendan Renault isn't with the Spirit, because he gets dirty even away from soccer. He's never late for a match, though. No dirt on these guys, just oil, as the boys from Carlton displayed some other talents. But when it comes to other talents, few beat the Strikers' Wayne Knight.
Come and talk to me, I really want to meet you, girl. I really want to...
While he belted out the melodies, Francis Awaratifi was strumming along with a favourite of his own. We found out that teammates don't always make the best flatmates.
Well, no, come on, not regularly.
Of course you do.
I've asked you to
Because
borrow
you
it
usually
once,
buy things
man.
with...
I asked you to borrow it once, but then I was looking for it and you've hidden. You done hype. You can of course.
And that soccer players make terrible soldiers. But there were 2 blokes in particular who gave us an incredible insight into their world.
You come away with nothing. I think it's sad.
One was Gippsland coach Stewie Munro. The other, referee Jerry Connolly.
Jerry Connolly, not Billy Connolly. I know they were looking for Billy and they came in, took a wrong turn and got Jerry.
To all who contributed to our view of Australian soccer, we thank you.
The South Melbourne Town Hall, place where the street parade will be passing very shortly. I mean, if it's good enough for Man United, it's good enough for South Melbourne. Mike Cockle, what about this season? It's been a great season, a great Ericsson Cup final series. Let's talk about awards, Player of the Year. Who do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, well, it's voted upon by the players, as you know, Wadey, which is something you and I support, but it is voted upon before the final series begins. That's always a bit of a controversial issue, but I'm going to go for Brad Maloney, captain of Marconi. Fantastic season from Bugsy, a real popular figure in the dressing room. His absence during the finals certainly cost Marconi dearly. 16 goals from midfielder is an enormous performance.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go for the young 20-year-old Mile Sturjovski, a striker up front, marked every game, he still scores goals. Coach of the Year, David Mitchell, I tell you, you won't get too many arguments really, would you?
Lay down was there for me. I mean, Ange Postecoglou obviously has won the championship, but, you know, a lot of people would argue he had a stronger squad and a more settled club behind him. We've talked about David Mitchell from day one on this show. What a fantastic effort he's produced. I mean, so many hurdles he had to overcome. He had to keep the team spirit going. He had to keep the players together. He did the job. He got them in the grand final, missed out at the final hurdle. But Mitch, take my hat off to you. Fantastic effort.
And he's got some great young players, and there's obviously the under-21 player of the year. Would you put Milej Sturjovski in that category?
Well, that's who I'm going for because, I think Milej's, it's been a learning curve for him. His first full season in the Ericsson Cup, he's produced big time. He's got the goals. He's overcome some disappointments. He's shown a lot of mental strength, I believe. I mean, he had that miss against South Melbourne in the major semi-final, which, really affected him. He came back the following week, produced a great performance. Had a great game in the grand final as well. Milej's, he's the future of Australian soccer.
Well, when you think about goalkeepers, you think about Mark Bosnich, but they're still coming through the system, aren't they? You might be going with one of the old brigade for goalkeeper of the year.
I'm going to go for the old fella, Bobby Catlin. What a fantastic season from the big man. I mean, he was discarded by Sydney Olympic last year. Player of the year, he got the award at Sydney Olympic, and they released him. Unbelievable decision. Newcastle's gain. He's been solid throughout. He's been around for a lot of years now, Bobby Catlin, but I think he's getting better with age. Great character as well, as we know on this show. I take my hat off to him. Fantastic season.
8 months ago, we started this program in singlets and shorts and thongs, and it's come down to this. The middle of winter in South Melbourne, me and Mike Cockrell freezing our little bums off. Mike, you must have enjoyed the season.
Oh, it's been great fun from day one, Wadey. I mean, you're right, we had the sunscreen out there at the start of the show, but that's how long the season goes for these days. South Melbourne, a fitting place to end the season. What I hope we've done this season on Soccer Central is make the players the stars of the Ericsson Cup. That's what it's all about. These are the people that make the game what it is today, and I hope we've achieved something along those lines this season.
Seen some great soccer. Obviously, it's not going to be the end of that. It's all going to happen next year, but I reckon this has been one of the greatest final series you can remember.
Great season. I mean, the crowds were there, the games were of a high standard, and let's hope the Ericsson Cup's turned the corner.
Let's hope so. We look forward to your company again next year on Soccer Central, where you see all the best in Australian soccer.